Hello, welcome to Country Sports TV. This is an interesting one. I've just had a phone call from a gamekeeper, and he said, "Do you know you've now got to register your chickens?" I said, "Well, we've moved and we haven't got any chickens anymore." He said, "I just thought you'd like to know that from September the 26th, if you've got 50 chickens or less, you have to register them. But it's not only chickens. If you've got ostriches, emus, partridges, pheasants in captivity, they have to be registered." And then we had about half a dozen to a dozen chickens, all according what time of year it was, and if the foxes had allowed them or not. They used to run free until we had old Charlie come round, and I was in the workshop, and I could hear these chickens giving it welly. I thought, what's going on? So I looked out the window, and there's Charlie with a chicken in its mouth. Right, 20 more, cut the cartridges. Walked out the back door. It ran past the garage and like bang! One dead fox. It made me feel a bit better. But it killed 3 chickens just like that, just in pure daylight. Now we know if we let the chickens out at night that we lost a couple, but in broad daylight, real odd. So. Now, chickens. You now have to register your chickens, or partridges, or pheasants. Birds in an aviary. If you've got a bird in the house, like a budgie or parrot, and it doesn't go into the outside, you don't need to register it. But if you've got an aviary, the wire caged box thing, with the budgie guards and parakeets or whatever you keep, they now have to be registered if you have under 50 of them. I couldn't believe this. It's just got nuts. Talk about the nanny state. Wow. Now I expect this was done under the last Conservative government. But the Labour government are going to get the blame for it, and I'm blaming them for not stopping the stupidity. Why should you have to register if you've got 2 or 3 chickens? We used to have chickens for eggs. We used to buy ex-poultry hens, and we made a big run for them, and it was great. We had fresh eggs, and better eggs you get from the shop. And we never ran out of eggs. We were actually giving eggs away and selling eggs. It helped pay for the food. In the winter they'd stop laying for a little bit in the real cold weather, but they'd start back up again. But having to register them. Now, 1 minute, let me just check the website and see how much it costs. I've just checked on the website, and there's nothing about a fee. So it looks like it's free. But how long that will be, I can't say. So even if you've got 1 chicken, if it's outdoors, you have to register it. Birds of prey are already registered anywhere, and they're not on the list. But if you've got pheasants, partridges, and chickens, they now have to be registered. It's just a nightmare. Why? We've got on all right for hundreds of years without having to register. Why all of a sudden do we have to register? There will be a fee in this later on, I tell you, because the cost of administration, it'll be something stupid like a £5, and then it'll be a £5 a year, and then it'll be a tenner. Then it'll go as an agency rather than a government department of DEFRA, and then they'll want to make a profit, so the price will go up. So people will stop keeping chickens. So you've got to go to the supermarket and buy food again. This is absolute craziness. Right, Country Sports TV is going to campaign to scrap this, and it's up to you to help me. What we're going to do is we're going to write to our MP. If you want the address of your MP, it's Find Your MP, and it's on the website. Type in your postcode, and it'll tell you who your MP is and his email address. And just if you keep chickens or pheasants, just write to him and say you can't see any need for this, don't understand why it needs to be done, it's bureaucracy gone mad. Do it in your own words. I'm not going to type a letter out that you can all send, because the government doesn't take any notice of those. I was in the civil service for 6 years, and any duplicated letter was never replied to. They may reply to the organisation that sent it saying we got your letters, but they would not reply to every single one. If you write in your own words why you think this is a stupid idea and it's bureaucracy gone mad, it's nanny state on steroids, let's be honest, and tell your MP why it's such a bad idea and why should you have to register just to keep a couple of chickens or pheasants or partridges or an ostrich or an emu. Oh dear, it's craziness. Right, write to your MP and in your own words explain why you think it's a crazy, stupid idea and want it scrapped. It's costing us, our taxpayers, money to do this. Oh, rant over, I think. Anyway, Country Sports TV is going to be following this one, and let's see if we can get it scrapped. Under Starmer, I don't think we're going to get anything scrapped, but we can try. So write to your MP. If you get a reply, put it on our Facebook page, Country Sports TV on Facebook. I will be interested to read the replies you get from your MP, and then everybody else can see. Then, if you want to log on to our Facebook group. Anyway, Ian, I got to go back in the workshop now. This is got to just have my lunch. And it came up that I got a gamekeeper phone me. Hey mate, you got to register your birds. I said I haven't got any anymore. Oh, so I'm deacting rifles at the moment. I got a couple of Mausers and a couple of Enfields to deact. So I'm cutting them up. It's a shame really. Some of these are good rifles. You know, good examples of World War II rifles. And I've got to cut them up so people can keep them. Real shame. I had one rifle brought in for deact. The gentleman was 85 or 90. He was old, and his son brought it in. He was given a exemption 7, which means he can have the gun until it's disposed of. And he brought it into the workshop. And it was in a wooden box, and it was a presentation Enfield, and I opened it up and it was like new. His father got it for winning the Queen's Prize at Bisley, and it was there. It was a good piece of wood on it, not the standard wood you get normally, but it had a good piece of walnut on it, and it was like an exhibition piece. and it was that because he won the Queen's Prize at Brisley, 1937. He was given this Enfield, and I had to cut up because he wasn't going to get rid of it, and the police wouldn't give him his ticket for it. Oh, it broke my heart, you know. So I borrowed it. As a gunsmith, I got to test guns, haven't I? You know, I've got to make sure they're working. So I took it down the range and fired it for one last time. And I wish I had a camera so that I could do it, but I wasn't videoing then. But anyway, there you go. That's another story. Anyway, register your chickens, or your pheasants, or your partridges. Just to let you know, and if you think it's stupid, let your MP know. Anyway, Ian, Country Sports TV, signing off.